So, camera and trusted hammer in hand, let's go and have a look at. Those are the bottom corners on the scuttle I mentioned. Now these are easy to see from above. A very, very easy check that you can do on the car if you go to look to buy one. Here is also where you can see some of the seam on your wheel arches. Now it is reasonably easy to see up and down there, and if anybody's actually tried to brush seam sealer in and do some general bodgery. Same in this sort of area. If someone's actually bodged up the H-mounts here, you would be able to see. And we can once again see from the inside the difference in paint colour from what's called foam white stroke grey to the repaint, which is much brighter. Again, into the sections at the other side. Passenger side never really seems to suffer as badly as the driver's side. But again, you know, you don't know until you've ground it back and seen how much damage there is. Front valence wise disappears underneath the heater box. So again, the beauty of having cameras that you can put at an angle now is you can go along underneath and check the top of the suspension mounts without actually having to cut it away too much. And in this case, the spare wheel well and the heater box seem to be in good condition, so not as bad as I first thought. Not as bad at all. This section here though, that's going to be a different kettle of fish. You can just see the threaded section there of the back of the door hinge retaining plate. On later cars you could lift that out. On these cars it's boxed in, so one way or another I need to cut out a section to be able to get in there and repair that bit in the corner. But that will all be repaired from inside after I cut off the corner of the scuttle. Okay, Imp scuttles. Complete paint on the backside. Seam sealed in here. Lovely place for it to trap the rot. Damage inside, won't be able to know until we get in there, but certainly holes round about here. Very, very bad indication of what. There's what pinholes can become very, very quickly. Now, that is not actually part of any kind of structure. And when you see holes like this, generally I would expect that to be a result of the car being laid up. And as I found on the maroon chamois, I must have had two forests of leaves all built up in here, holding against the surface. So have a good go at as you can see, with me just moving that, the metal is very, very weak, although the inside of it looks okay. Now this scuttle, spot welds here, one nice slit across here, most of that will come off. You'll definitely see that on the passenger side of the build thread for DDG 220C on hillmanimp.org, that I had to cut this section out due to the car aerial having been fitted in here. Now, not only did that leave a place where it could leak and rotted down here, they also punched a hole through the chamois glove box to fit the bottom of the aerial, so that got kicked into touch and removed. But it gives a good show of what's actually in here, and it is easy enough to remove and replace, especially if the sections like this one where it's reasonably okay. A small repair down here which is just down and in maybe 10-15 mils for a return, and then folded. Here is where you need to watch out. as I already mentioned before, as that's lead loaded, you can start to see it here. So when cutting and welding, be very, very careful in that area. Scuttle wise, you'll want to go along and check basically everywhere you see crust. Fortunately, this seems to have survived much better. I don't see any of the same kind of rot at the other side. However, on this side, I'm certainly not going to spend the amount of resources and money on the car without getting a look inside. So this scuttle will be coming off here to here and down as well. And as I said, if it comes off in one piece, they generally go back on in one piece. So that's not going to be too bad, and that's also going to let me get effectively almost like a drain rod with a small wire brush in it, which I can push in the channel between here and where the wiper linkages that are along there, and I can actually get that all cleaned out and rust treated while they're off. So overall, not a lot of work scuttle wise. Inside, again, all the seam sealers started to go, but generally where it's flaked off, I'm not seeing anything. Here on a later car would be where you could see the hinge plates, and other than along the other side, not really a big cause for concern on this scuttle. Same roofline wise, all seems to be in reasonable order.